The city lights reflected off the polished hood of the billionaire's luxury car as he drove home beside his elegant fiancée. Everything in his life felt perfectly aligned. His empire was thriving, his upcoming marriage promised stability, and the past was finally silent. He believed he had outrun every mistake he had ever made. Then the traffic light turned red, cars slowed, the city paused, and fate stepped onto the crosswalk. At first, it was just a familiar silhouette moving through the crowd, but as she came closer, his breath caught in his throat. It was her, the woman he had once loved deeply, his ex-girlfriend now looking exhausted, her eyes dulled by years of struggle. She held the hands of two small twins, guiding them carefully across the street as if the world had already taught her to be cautious. Time seemed to stretch. The noise of the city faded. His heart pounded as memories flooded back, late-night promises, whispered dreams, and the night he chose ambition over love, leaving without a backward glance. He had told himself she would move on, that life would take care of her, but life clearly hadn't been kind. Then the twins looked up. Their faces were unmistakable, the same sharp eyes, the same expression he saw every morning in the mirror. His chest tightened as an unspoken question crashed into his thoughts. Was this the life he abandoned? Beside him, his fiancée noticed the sudden tension, her smile fading as she followed his frozen gaze. She asked what was wrong, but he couldn't speak. The light turned green. Cars behind them honked impatiently. Yet the billionaire remained still. In that moment, everything he had built, his wealth, his reputation, his carefully planned future, felt fragile. One crossing, one glance, and the past he believed was buried forever had risen, demanding to be seen. As the traffic light shifted from red to green, the twins suddenly turned their heads toward the road. In that split second, the billionaire's world cracked open, their faces, so small, yet so painfully familiar, reflected his own features with undeniable clarity. The same eyes, the same shape of the jaw, even the same serious expression he'd worn as a child in old photographs. His grip tightened on the steering wheel as a chill ran through him. This wasn't coincidence. This was consequence, memories he had buried beneath. Success and silence surged back. He remembered the night he walked away from her, how she stood in the doorway, asking for answers he was too ambitious to give. He had told himself love could wait, that building an empire mattered more than building a family. He promised he'd return once he had made it. He never did. Now watching her guide those twins across the street, he felt the weight of that choice pressed down on his chest. A terrifying question echoed in his mind. Were those children his? The math made sense. The timing fit too perfectly, and yet the truth terrified him more than any financial loss ever had. Why had she never told him? Then another thought cut even deeper. Had she tried, and he simply hadn't listened? Had he been so obsessed with success that he silenced the very voice that could have changed everything? Beside him, his fiancée spoke his name softly, sensing the sudden shift in his demeanor. But he barely heard her. His confidence, the armor he wore to boardrooms and negotiations, was gone. In its place stood a man haunted by regret and uncertainty. For the first time in his life, money couldn't fix this. Because if those twins were truly his, then his greatest failure wasn't love lost. It was a life he never chose to claim. The honking of impatient cars faded into the background as the billionaire opened the door and stepped out onto the street. His fiancée remained seated, watching in stunned silence, her reflection visible in the dark glass of the car window. She didn't stop him, she didn't speak. Somehow she knew this moment was bigger than them. Both. He crossed the road slowly, each step heavy with fear and resolve. The woman he once loved stopped when she noticed him approaching. Her eyes widened, not in anger, not in surprise, but in quiet recognition. She had imagined this moment before, yet never believed it would truly happen. The twins clung to her hands, confused by the tension in the air. For a moment, no one spoke. The city moved around them, unaware that several lives were about to change forever. He searched her face for answers, but what he found instead was exhaustion, the kind that comes from years of carrying burdens alone. "I never wanted anything from you," she finally said, her voice steady but tired. "I just wanted them to be safe." That was when the truth fully struck him. Whether the children were his or not, he had failed them once already. His reputation, his wealth, his carefully constructed image suddenly felt meaningless compared to the responsibility standing before him. Behind him, his fiancée stepped out of the car. Her eyes filled with emotion, not jealousy but understanding. She realized love wasn't about perfection, it was about accountability. The billionaire made his choice then, not as a mogul but as a man. He promised answers, support and presence, regardless of the cost. Because some truths don't destroy you, they rebuild you. As traffic resumed and the light changed once more, fate had already been decided. Money could buy comfort, but only courage could change a life.